Real TV on TSN.
The NHL's 75th anniversary season. What a year it has been. There was a good-looking scoring race. Kevin Stevens was new to the group, but Mario took top honors. How about those Vancouver Canucks, a powerhouse on the West Coast? In New York, Roger Nielsen made all the right moves. His Rangers are the league's top team. Was there a better line than Tocchet, Lemieux, Stevens? Imagine what they'll do next year. Super sniper Brett Hull had another terrific season, doing his thing, scoring goals. And Jeremy Roenick proved once and for all he is the heart and future in Chicago. All in all, a season that highlighted parity in the league. The playoffs were anxiously awaited. Then disaster, the strike, and the NHL's dark ages. But the league saw the lights, and now it's game number 80 in what has been a unique season. Tonight, the defending Stanley Cup champion Penguins take on the New York Rangers at Madison Square. Scotty Bowman has that worried look, and for good reason. The big guy, Mario Lemieux, has an injured shoulder and is out of the lineup indefinitely. And what about team defense, a concept seldom seen in the Penguin game with over 300 goals against? And team attitude, will the Penguins get it going for Scotty like they did a year ago for Badger Bob? Unbelievable! Is this finally the year the New York Rangers will put their hands on the cup? Hey, these guys are serious. During the strike, they scrounged some gear to stay in shape. It's been a banner season in the Big Apple. The Rangers emerged as the NHL's best. And the big plus, Mark Messier, the game's ultimate leader, has that Stanley Cup gleam in his eye. On the final night of the regular season, we'll follow the action on the NHL tonight. Beginning here in New York as the Rangers wrap up against the Penguins. In the Norris, Minnesota meets St. Louis. In the Smythe, the Canucks' final playoff prep is against the Flames in Vancouver. And the Jets round out their season against the Sharks in San Jose. In the first intermission, Pittsburgh general manager Craig Patrick. The Penguins' chances for a repeat. NHL Tonight on TSN. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. What beer's all about. By Pepsi. Gotta have it. And by Domino's Pizza of Canada. Experience the Domino's effect. Live from Madison Square Garden in New York, the Penguins and the Rangers on TSN Tonight. Hi, everyone. I'm John Wells. It's great to be back on the hockey beat for the final night of the regular season and the Stanley Cup playoffs beginning Saturday here on TSN. Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers look like a pretty good playoff matchup. 24 hours ago, that all changed when the Penguins beat Washington to finish third in the Patrick and avoid the Rangers in the opening round. And while the Rangers showed the effects of a long layoff last night in Toronto, they remain a team to be reckoned with. The Rangers will have evidence of that as they receive the President's Trophy here this evening. And after that presentation, they'll skate out for their 50th win of the season. If they get it, it will be a new franchise record. More on the NHL Tonight from Jim and Gary.
Well, John, it is nice to be back in a hockey rink, and I think a lot of us have eagerly anticipated these playoffs even before the strike because there's so many teams that can claim contention for the Stanley Cup. that the first 2 rounds of these playoffs might be the best playoff hockey we've ever seen.
You know, Jim, every time at this time of season, players and coaches are really, well, they don't like to talk about the playoff matchups because they have respect for the opposition. But this year, I think there's even greater fear, especially by the first-place teams, because the first-place team against the fourth-place teams, they've got a lot of respect for those fourth-place teams. It's going to be good hockey.
Hard to handicap the playoffs. Well, at this point, we could say something cheesy, a little blarg about why this game is so important tonight, and these teams never take a night off and work so hard to get ready for the playoffs. But instead, we thought we'd steal something from David Letterman because we're in New York. So now from hockey's home office in Viking, Alberta, the top 10 reasons why this isn't a meaningless game. Gary?
Let's start it away here with number 10. Number 10 is Mark Messier needs 4 points to set a club record. Number 9, the circus is in town, and a tiger could get loose, and we'd want to see that. Number 8, Ryan Leach only needs 2 points to become the 5th defenseman in league history to get 100 points in a season. Number 7, we're going to give a list to Ty Domi of all those people that turned us out tonight. Number 6, Jaromir Jagr could score the prettiest goal of the whole season.
Number 5, reason why this game isn't meaningless. John Ziegler's here, so it must be good. Number 4, the Rangers win, and they could set a club record with their 50th of the season. Number 3, there are candidates for the Norris, Hart, Calder, and Adams trophies in this game. Number 2, the game features 5 of the league's top 25 scorers, and the number 1 reason why this game isn't meaningless, because Mark Messier says it isn't. And I'll buy that if you will, Greener.
I would never argue with Mark Messier.
But seriously, there were winners and losers over the strike. Some teams needed some time off to get healthy. Other teams might have been hurt by it. Where do you think these teams fit in there?
I think that they're both well rested. The Rangers maybe a little bit too rested. They had 18 days off before they finally played their first game last night. They're a little concerned about that. But I think these guys now have had their holiday, and they're ready to play, and they look good.
Well, it's the final tune-up for the Stanley Cup playoffs, and both of these teams think they have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. So there's also some awards being presented tonight and some individual milestones these guys are after, so we'll watch with interest. John?
Jim, the Rangers were hockey's hottest team prior to the strike. They have now lost 2 games in a row and get 1 chance to rebound and get set for the playoffs tonight. Pittsburgh, with a win over Washington last night, looks ready for the playoffs. They did so without the top 2 scorers in the league, Mario Lemieux and Kevin Stevens, out of the lineup last night. Stevens is back. Lemieux will miss again. The word is Lemieux will be ready for the playoffs when they roll around on Sunday night for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, with more on the NHL tonight, let's go back to Toronto and Jim Van Horn.
Thank you, John. Good evening, everyone. It's hard to believe that the regular season wraps up tonight. It's even harder to believe that we are going to have playoffs, but we're thankful that everything is settled and we are set to go. Let's take a look ahead to our intermissions. In the first, we're going to hear from the general manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins. He'll be in conversation, Craig Patrick will, with John Wells. Bob McKenzie's going to join us, and we will have previews of the Campbell and Wales Conference playoffs up and coming that get underway on Saturday. Looking ahead to our second intermission, we'll have highlights from around the NHL tonight. 3 other games still to be played. Bob McKenzie will be here again to talk hockey, and we will have the Vantage Point talking about the NHL awards. Jim and Gary will discuss that. Who will win? We will find out their predictions very soon. We'll take a break and come back with more on Molson NHL Tonight on TSN.
Once the game has started, it's time to find a waiter and find the best seats in the house. Many use friendly conversation, but speed and agility are also necessary to move up to a better view, closer to the screen. And for the best seats in the house, whatever the house, head for the Molson Canadian Hockey Connection. Just call the Molson Canadian fan phone, and you could win our best seats to an NHL game. Listen to your station for details.
Today, Pepsi announced a new slogan. Mere words? Or is the taste of Pepsi so big, America's really got to have it?
Gotta have it. It's something I felt for years, but never had the words to express.
If it's so popular, how come everybody's drinking it?
Henry's only regret is that he started drinking Pepsi this late in life.
The phrase, gotta have it, strikes a chord deep in the human psyche.
Now that everybody's gotta have it, Pepsi's not gonna need celebrity endorsers anymore.
And that's what I've been saying all along.
We believe satisfaction goes beyond the best bumper-to-bumper protection in Canada, or the best coverage on major components, or even free roadside assistance around the clock. It goes as far as the Nissan Satisfaction Commitment, the most comprehensive full-line customer care program ever, and standard on every 1992 Nissan, because we believe warranty should protect the people who drive the cars, not the people who make them. Nissan, built for the human race.
As I mentioned, there are other games in the NHL tonight at 8:30 Eastern. Minnesota and St. Louis get set for the playoffs as they play their final game of the regular season with the game at the arena in St. Louis. Winnipeg wraps up their regular season with a game against the expansion San Jose Sharks, who will not be seeing action after tonight. Their season ends. That's a 10:30 Eastern start. And Calgary and Vancouver, the Flames end their season against the Vancouver Canucks on the West Coast. Again, that is a 10:30 Eastern start. Joining us is Bob McKenzie, hockey writer for the Toronto Star, who's been with us throughout the course of the season. We're going to talk playoffs a little later on, but it's really strange to be going into the playoffs and not having the Calgary Flames going after the Stanley Cup, even if they were pretenders for the last couple of years.
Well, it's unbelievable. You look in that Smythe division, and the team to beat the Vancouver Canucks at the beginning of the year, nobody would have predicted that. I don't think the Vancouver Canucks, but the Flames are out, and now the Canucks in the first round. It'll be very interesting to see the kind of psychology that they go in for. They've never had to be the team to beat in the past. Now they're going up against the fourth-place Winnipeg Jets. Jets are loose, they're relaxed, and all of a sudden the shoe is on the other foot for Vancouver, who used to find themselves in that position of having to knock off the first-place team.
Here we talked about the San Jose Sharks, the expansion San Jose Sharks. Their season ends today, and the fact that they've won only 17 games all season really doesn't say what they have accomplished this year, because despite the fact that they did lose an awful lot of games, they made a lot of fans, and they performed extremely well for a first-year club. It's
been a model expansion franchise. General manager Jack Ferrara has done a great job there, as we expected he would. He's an established general manager had an established organization. They literally took that Minnesota North Star organization and simply moved it to San Jose. They did a good job. Pat Falloon played about as well, or maybe beyond expectations this year. Everybody talks about the rookies in the year of this league: Tony Amonte, Nicholas Lidstrom, Pavel Bure. Those will be the three finalists for the Calder Trophy, barring a huge surprise. But Pat Falloon was outstanding for the San Jose Sharks and deserves a large measure of credit for the limited amount of success, or the relative success, that San Jose enjoyed.
And of course, San Jose just announced that they had signed Ray Whitney to a long-term contract, so he'll be in the lineup with Fat Pat Falloon. No, I don't think so. With Pat Falloon next season, and that bodes well for the franchise as well.
Well, it does. The San Diego franchise in the International League has finished for the year. So now Sean Burke is, boy, did he make himself a nice deal this year. Sean Burke went to San Diego, finished out the year. And as you mentioned, Ray Whitney playing down there. And it'll be interesting to see if Whitney and Falloon can recreate the magic that they had in junior hockey in the NHL. They were a big reason. They were the reason why Spokane won the Memorial Cup last year. And it'll be interesting to see if in Shark uniforms next season they can recreate that magic.
Since play resumed following the strike last weekend, crowds have been down at every rink across the board. There hasn't been a franchise that has increased the attendance at the games. Do you think that people are waiting for the playoffs?
They were waiting for the playoffs. Let's be honest. Most of those games, once especially Toronto and Calgary were knocked out on the first night back, games were meaningless.
Okay, they're set to go for Madison Square Garden in New York, but first the President's Trophy presentation to the #1 team in the NHL.
Thank you, Jim. The President's Trophy is just about to be presented. You can see that it's rather dark in here. The lights have been dimmed, and the Rangers are all out on their bench. You can't see them. The Penguins are still back in their dressing room.
For the first time since the 1941-42 season, and only the second time in team
They'll
history,
present this President's Trophy to the team that finishes first overall. The Rangers will do that, and they'll be the only team in the league with 100 points this season.
Well, it's not a sellout crowd to watch this tonight, but boy, oh boy, the fans have been waiting a long time to see a team that they really, truly believe can win a Stanley Cup, and this is a good start.
You know, while the strike was on, it was noted that there may have been a lot of disinterest in American cities, especially cities with basketball and baseball. But in New York, there were a lot of people that were very upset. I listened to WFAN, sports talk radio in New York a lot. And there were many, many callers bemoaning the fact that this was the Rangers' year and we've been robbed by the strike. So they're happy that hockey's back and the Rangers have a chance to win the Stanley Cup to go with this President's Trophy.
The president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler, has just stepped onto the ice and is presenting the President's Trophy.
By himself, without Bill Wilkerson, presenting the award to Mark Messier, Brian Leach, Mike Gardner. This award is worth $200,000 to the team, about $5,000 per man. But in the collective bargaining agreement just negotiated, retroactive to the season these players are now finishing, there's more playoff and award money. So the Rangers aren't sure how much this trophy is worth to them yet, because the league and its players haven't determined how the $7.5 million playoff and award pool will be split. So they might have just won an extra 10 grand a man, but they're not sure. There was another very touching ceremony just before we came back, as the Stephen McDonald Award was presented to Adam Graves. It's the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award that goes to Mark Messier's line mate. Stephen McDonald was still is a New York City policeman who was shot in the line of duty, is now confined to a wheelchair. The Extra Effort Award is presented in his name, and a good deal of cash presented to the organizations that he works with. And Adam Graves won it and was particularly touched to win the award because his father is a policeman in Toronto and a very deserving recipient of the Extra Effort Award, and it meant so much to him tonight.
Well, he sure got a thunderous ovation here when it was announced that he had won it. He has become a fan's favorite, and it's because of his hard work, his hustle. So a great signing on the part of the New York Rangers, Neil Smith, last summer.
No question who the MVP is on the New York Rangers. It's Mark Messier, but many people here say that Adam Graves would be the next choice behind Messier as the man who's been most valuable to the Rangers, as they've amassed 49 wins, the most in the league, and go after a club record 50th victory tonight. There'll probably be about 12,000 people in Madison Square Garden tonight. People had a chance to turn in the tickets until noon yesterday and get their money back because of the change date, because of the strike. And it's pretty obvious that many of them did, and quite possibly picked up playoff tickets, because the playoffs will begin here on Sunday as the Rangers will play the Jersey Devils. It'll be the first time ever those teams have met in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Award ceremony is complete. They're rolling up the carpets. The Penguins are on the ice loosening up, and we'll have hockey. The 80th game of the season for the Penguins and the Rangers is coming up next. This Molson Canadian hockey telecast continues after this.
Time to dip into the old Goodyear mailbag. Barry from Bob Cajun writes, "Dear Mr. Tune-Up, my check engine light comes on at highway speed. My mom says it's the ECM. I think it's the oxygen sensor. What do you think?" Barry, if this is about your car, and I think that it is, I'd take it to a Goodyear certified auto service retailer. Toot sweet.
Goodyear, from tune-ups to tires.
I don't think so. Tire question.
Domino's Pizza may very well be the best tasting pizza in the whole world. Domino's Deluxe Pizza Feast, $9.99. 2 for $14.99. Experience the deal.
Do it right the first time with GE Silicones, available at Home Hardware.
Well, if you're a hockey fan, you'll say that the greatest show on earth starts on Saturday, the Stanley Cup playoffs. But the greatest show on earth, the Ringling Brothers Circus, is actually parked in here, as it usually is at this time of year. And there was a circus performance on this very ice surface at 1 o'clock. About 4 o'clock, they turned this building over for hockey. They do it in a hurry. So what's the ice going to be like?
The ice is actually very good. I talked to Doug Moore, who is the ice expert, and he says that it is excellent ice. You may see some dark patches out there, but that's for tie downs, for cables and ropes, and that's for the circus. It has nothing to do with the quality of the ice.
They do pack a lot of events in this building, about 330 per year. Doesn't give them many off days, does it? Sure doesn't. Well, the New York Rangers are on the ice and loosened up and ready to go, and so are the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we'll have the face-off after the national anthem of the United States of America.
Ocean, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we have put brought bright stars in the barrel for the red hot fever. and the home of the brave.
NHL hockey is back on the Sports Network TSN. It's the final playoff tune-up for the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. Tonight's starting goaltenders brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money. 28-year-old Ken Wregget gets his first start since the strike. A chance to hone his skills with Wendell Young as his backup tonight. Wregget may or may not get a lot of ice time in the playoffs as Tom Barrasso sits out tonight and is the #1 man. 28-year-old John Van Beesbrook starts tonight for the Rangers. In his last 7 games, he's given up 6 goals, 6 one-goal games, and a shutout. He's red hot at the right time of year, and Mike Richter is his backup. The referee for this game is Rob Schick. His linesmen are Gord Brossiker and Kevin Collins. John DeMonte is the video goal judge. Mark Messier will start at center. On a line with Adam Graves on the left wing, and Tony Amonte, a Calder Trophy candidate, on the right side. Brian Leach, a Norris Trophy candidate, on defense with his regular partner Jeff Bukaboom. This Messier line went together at the 10-game mark of the season, and it's been together ever since. Brian Trottier starts at center for the Mario Lemieux's Pittsburgh Penguins. He's hurt. Troy Loney and Jaromir Jagr are his wingers, with Grant Jennings and Shel Samuelson playing on defense together. Messier carries the puck and is turned back by Troy Loney and plays it out to Jeff Bukaboom. He ran into Trottier. Troy Loney flips the puck to Jaromir Jagr, who scored a beautiful goal in a win over Washington last night. He always seems to score highlight reel goals. Trottier holding on to the puck, going to center to the wraparound. Van Beesbrook stopped that. Up the boards, Amonte. Nice pass across ice to Mark Messier. Over the blue line with Graves. Drop pass. Leach with a shot. Big rebound out Wregget. Leach gets the puck on the left wing board. Decided not to shoot. Plays the puck to Graves. Back on the point. The puck split Leach and Bukaboom and gets out to center. Minute and a second in, no score. And both teams are now making changes on the fly. Sergei Nemchinov centering the #2 line for the Rangers. His wingers are Mike Gartner and Jan Eriksson. Randy Gillen, Phil Bourque on the ice for the Penguins. Headed to the net is Nemchinov, and he was poke checked by Wregget. Loose puck in front of the goal. Cleared away by Paul Stanton. Jay Caulfield, #16. Playing with Sean McEachern and Phil Bourque for the Penguins. James Patrick back for the puck for the Rangers.
Last night in the Toronto game, the Rangers were sloppy, but they got better as the game went on.
Eriksson to Gartner. Just about got away from Gord Roberts. Roberts got a piece of Gartner and he went down. Eriksson, Nemchinov go after the puck. Nemchinov taken to the boards. Jay Caulfield gets the puck. Sean McEachern out of Boston University was a teammate of Tony Amonte's there last season. To the front of the net, taken away by Mark Hardy, #14. Hardy can't go up the boards. Kevin Stevens with a centering pass knocked away from McEachern by John Van Beesbrook. Back come the Rangers at the end of a long shift. Gartner dumps the puck in not far from the net. And the Rangers peel off to the bench on a line change. 2.5 minutes into a scoreless game. Ron Francis onto the left wing to Stevens. Drop pass. Jim Pack with a shot. Van Beesbrook the save. Paul Broughton after the loose puck and couldn't get it. Francis to Pack. His shot went wide of the net. And it's cleared by the Rangers out to center. Chris King got it out there. Broughton would have gone offside, so he moved the puck back. And now the Penguins take over 3 minutes into the game and move out.
Without a whistle as well. And we're going to have to watch at the 5-minute mark. Scott Bowman says he's going to change his goaltenders every 5 minutes tonight. Is he joking? Well, we'll have to find out.
Darren Turcotte with a shot, and he didn't miss Ken Wregget by much. Chris King into Turcotte. Paul Broughton's in front of the net. King, #19, looking to center, wraps it around and just missed the net. Thought he'd center, and then he skated out front and took a shot. Broughton has Leach at the point, but he just dumps the puck in deep. There's Grant Jennings clearing it out. 3.5 minutes without a whistle, without a goal. The Rangers and the Penguins scoreless in their final meeting and their final game of this 91-92 season. Leach and his partner Bukaboom were rusty last night. They were -4 as a pair in Toronto in a 4-2 loss. Tim Kerr's out on the ice as Roger Nielsen employs 4 lines early. Ty Domi in for Joe Kocur tonight. threw a hit at Shell Samuelson and just missed. Mullen with a drop pass to Erie. His shot was blocked. Joe Mullen in front of the net. Erie here, Dino overskated the puck, and the Rangers come out 3-on-2. Andy Gillen to Tim Kerr. Poke checks just in over the blue line. Jennings went down as he went after the puck. Cleared to center ice.
Tell you what, Jim. Wendell Young's got his face mask on the bench.
It's his turn to go in pretty soon.
Think he'll change on the fly?
He might have to. It hasn't been a whistle yet. Erie Herdina, drop pass for Troy Loney, couldn't get it. Joe Mullen was checked, but he goes back for the puck as Domi stays on him, and Van Beesbrook clears the puck through center. And Beesbrook has been warned by the coaching staff not to clear the puck up the middle. And you notice that time he went to the boards with it. 4.5 minutes in. Still nary a stoppage in play. Brian Trache stick handles in, takes a shot, Van Beesbrook the save. Still no stoppages. Beezer couldn't hold on. Tony Amandi to Adam Graves. Messier coming in late. Graves couldn't get a shot away. Taken out of the play by Paul Stanton. Gord Roberts comes up with the puck. Amandi watches him, then took the puck away as Roberts tried to pass it. Roberts and Stanton paired together on defense. The Messier line features Amandi and Graves on the wings in forechecking. Trache, Yager, and Loney out for Pittsburgh. Jaromir Yager in behind the net. Trying to center for Trache, couldn't do it. Outside the blue line, Pack dumps the puck in, and there's the first whistle. 5 minutes and 17 seconds in, and he's going to do it. Scotty Bowman's going to change goaltender.
But he didn't do it on the fly, and for a moment there, when I was watching the bench, Wendell Young was getting up, and I thought that he was going to get that one leg over the boards, that we might just see a change of goaltenders on the fly. Hey, why not? We've seen a few things this year we've never seen in the National Hockey League, so this could have been another.
This is wild. Why would he do this? Just for the heck of it?
Oh, Peterborough coaches, Jim, in the past have been known to do some strange things. And actually, that's been a custom that has been used before, not just by coaches in Peterborough, but Scotty Bowman felt that if you put one goaltender in, he wanted to get both of them work tonight. So rather than just splitting a game, maybe one guy got blown out, he wanted to give them equal opportunity, but equal opportunity in the right setting.
Well, there's another reason why this game isn't meaningless. Every 5 minutes, there'll be a goaltending change, it appears. No score, 5.5 minutes in. 5:17 is the time of the goaltending change on the first whistle. Here's Messier starting out for the New York Rangers. Graves with him on the right side. Messier to the point, the shot! And Wendell Young got a piece of that as it went in behind the net. That was Joe Sorella that got the shot away on the drop pass from Messier. His partner is Jay Wells, who kept the puck in. Here's Amandi from Messier at the side of the net. He's checked by Jeff Chikrin. Graves turns off the boards, lost the puck. Jake Caulfield trying to move it out, can't do it. Messier in front. Graves turns. His shot is blocked by Wendell Young. Not a hard one, but directed at the net. And the Penguins send the puck the length of the ice. There's an icing call against Pittsburgh. Some notable scratches from this game tonight. Murphy and Samuelson took the warm-up but are being rested tonight. Mario Lemieux has a bad shoulder but will be ready to play in the playoffs starting Sunday night against Washington.
You wouldn't think that Murphy and Samuelson needed a rest after the strike.
Tom Barrasso also scratched tonight, and the Rangers scratches Ogrodnik, Juice, Koser, and Doug Wade has actually been reassigned. There's the coach of the President's Trophy winning team.
Well, Roger was pretty concerned tonight before the game. Concerned about his talk show that he does before the game, the coach's show, because he became the interviewer tonight, not the interviewee, and so he had lots of questions for his counterpart, Sal, tonight.
Sal Mussina is a color commentator here, former goaltender. They call him Red Light, and he usually does the interview, but tonight Raj interviewed him, and that was a pregame concentration. He was worried about the questions he was going to ask in his interview. There's a backhand shot, and Young stopped that right on the doorstep. Not a very hard backhand shot, but they always seem to cause goalies problems.
Well, both of these goaltenders are going to have to be sharp.
Gardner gets the shot away.
You could see that Young was looking back. He knew he got a piece of it, but where did it go after that? He wasn't quite certain.
There's a rocket over top of the net, right off the faceoff, off the stick of Brian Leach. Boom keeps the puck in. Big Shell Samuelson, number 23, puts the puck up the boards. Leach keeps it into the front of the net, and it deflected away from the front of the goal. Gardner standing in front, Nemchinov. And Erickson trying to get him the puck. Back comes Kevin Stevens with Francis and Tocchet. Francis is in Mario Lemieux's spot. There's Kevin Stevens, number 2 in NHL scoring, number 2 on the Penguins, and they had their awards night last night. Kevin didn't win anything.
Joey Mullen did, though. He picked up a couple of awards. Roger Nielsen and one of his many different ties tonight. Different being, as you remember, the last time we were in Madison Square Garden, we showed a little feature about how Roger, on his 300th win, had been given 300 ties. All under the value of $5, no doubt.
And he wears them proudly.
What a guy.
The king of clip-ons. There's an icing call against the Rangers. 7 minutes and 8 seconds into this first period, no score.
Scotty Bowman also wanted to give his other defensemen lots of ice time tonight, especially a guy like Jimmy Peck, who was going to need, Scotty felt, some more added ice time. Roberts, you'll see, will get extra ice time tonight, and also Chychrun will receive lots of ice in tonight's game.
Already he's playing what would normally be the third and fourth line a little more than the first and second line. The Stevens, Francis, Tocchet line is out right now. But I notice Jay Caulfield getting some extra shifts, and they're trying to get him a point.
Exactly.
There's another goal for the Penguins in this game.
Another reason why this game does mean a lot. To Jay Caulfield it does.
Darren Turcotte dumped the puck in for the Rangers. Roberts is there to shoot it right back through the middle. Icing waved off. Leach back for the puck. Leach 2 points shy of 100. And he heads for the bench on a change as the puck is dumped in deep. Roberts to his partner, Paul Stanton, number 22. Rick Tocchet is on the right wing, wearing the face shield because of a broken jaw. And I have to think that the 10 days off during the strike really helped Tocchet heal up and regain his strength after suffering a broken jaw. A few players around the league that were really helped by the time off. Here's Joe Mullen with Bob Airy over the blue line. Airy heads for the net, scooped the puck in on Van Beesbrook, and he stopped it. Mullen stays on it. Herdina and Airy are his line mates as they go in after the puck. Rangers, James Patrick pokes the puck out to center, taken away by Herdina. Herdina got it back from Chychrun, banned on a pass. Airy helps out, though. Jim Pack, who was named Penguin Rookie of the Year last night. Their final home game, dumps the puck in. Breakaway pass for Ty Domi, and it didn't quite connect. Wendell Young has to play the puck, so there's no icing as the Penguins come out. Mullen to Airy, and he gains the blue line. The drop pass, but the Rangers got the puck, and the Penguins are on a chain. Tim Kerr, number 12, weak shot, steered aside by Young. Herdina bumped on the inboards. Kerr is there. Out in front is Randy Gillen looking for a pass. If the Rangers could dig it out. Domi working on the inboards against Grant Jennings and hounding him ferociously. Staying with him, and now they're going to fight. Domi and Jennings, and nope. Linesman Collins and Rossiter get there just in the nick of time. 10:55 to play in a scoreless first on this Molson Canadian hockey telecast.
Mccain Deep and Delicious Pizza is loaded with toppings, and we mean loaded. In fact, it's so loaded with toppings. Mccain Deep and Delicious Pizza with rich mozzarella cheese, extra pepperoni, and tons of delicious toppings. Deep and Delicious Pizza only from Mccain. Be careful, it's loaded.
Just one penalty in the altercation. That's using the term loosely between Jennings and Domi, and it's a high sticking call to Jennings. The Rangers are going to the power play.
So good discipline on the part of Ty Domi. He could have fought Jennings, and that's what Jennings had in mind, but instead he turned away from it after he dropped his stick. He had a little help there from Collins the linesman.
Ty is featured on the cover of the Hockey News, and he was boasting to his teammates about that in Toronto, so they fixed him good. They took his skates and rubbed them on cement in Toronto yesterday, and then they cut one of his sticks, so when he went out for the warm-up in Toronto last night, he immediately fell down, and when he took his first shot, his stick broke, and they'd hidden the rest of his sticks when he went looking for more.
He fell again in warm-up tonight. Maybe they had done the same thing. Kind of a dangerous thing for players to do, though, especially since Ty had already hurt himself this year from falling in a practice.
Nobody was thinking about that.
Boys will be boys.
Rangers are on the power play, and their power play ranks 7th in the league. Buffalo has the best one. Philadelphia the worst. Pittsburgh's penalty killing ranks 15th. The Rangers are best there, and the Islanders worst. Long shot and a good hard one stopped by Wendell Young. Gartner got the shot away. He's out with Messier and Graves in the #1 power play unit. Turcotte paired on the point with Brian Leach. Here's Leach with some room, takes the shot, blocked by Graves. It hit him, his shot, great save by Wendell Young, and he holds on.
Yeah, holding on, all right, but it's probably his time to take off again. We'll see whether the move is once again made.
Yes, 5 minutes in, Scotty Bowman changed goaltenders, and Wregget sits on the bench, ready to go again if need be.
Well, maybe it's because of this save that he's going to stay in. He scrambled quickly to cover up on his own rebound. He's looking towards the bench right now and not getting the sign to head to it.
Tim Kerr, if healthy into the playoffs, and he appears to be, could help this team by getting a few playoff power play goals.
Exactly, especially on the power play in front of the net. He's dangerous.
He is to keep him healthy. He's out with Nemchinov. James Patrick has joined Leach. Rangers power play with 45 seconds left to work in it. Tony Amonte is out of the second power play unit for the New York Rangers as well. Leach played the puck ahead to James Patrick, and it was knocked away from him. Troy Loney and Brian Trottier killing the penalty, along with Gord Robertson, Paul Stanton. Now half a minute to go in this penalty to Grant Jennings for high sticking. We've passed the midway mark of the first period, no score in the game. Leach, his pass intercepted by the veteran Brian Trottier. Getting set for his 16th appearance in the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sunday. He heads to the bench on a penalty killing unit change as his penalty is set to expire. Jennings is back on. The Rangers are 0 for 1 with a man advantage.
And now that the penalty is up, I am sure that you'll see the goaltender change for the Penguins.
Loose puck in front of the net. Paul Broughton goes after it. Gillen trying to come up with a loose puck as well. Amonte still on the ice. He dumps it in deep. But he was outside of the blue line. Just. And so it's offside. And yes, they're changing goaltenders. Ken Wregget's coming back in. We'll be back in a moment.
Announcing Fido-Rama, your chance to win a limited edition escort. Just look under the cap of specially marked 7-Up and Diet 7-Up to collect the names of 7 cities, and you could win a Fido escort. Well, I'm glad that Scotty Bowman told us before the game that he might change goaltenders every 5 minutes and gave us a hint of what is to come, was to come, and is, I suppose. But I'm sure there's about 12,000 bewildered people at Madison Square Garden wondering what the heck he's doing.
No, he doesn't like him. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't.
Wregget must be hurt. Oh, he must need his skates sharpened. Oh, bad sticks. No score. The Rangers and the Penguins. They meet for the final time in this season. The Rangers have won 4 of the 6 meetings so far this year. In over the blue line is Ron Francis with Rick Tocchet headed for the net. Kevin Stevens moves in and shoots. Then Beesbrook stoned him.
That's kind of been a popular phrase, though, lately with the Rangers. Van Beesbrook has been excellent. Who's going to start in net for the first game of the playoffs? Nobody knows.
He was almost knocked over.
He sure was. He was caught. And he was leaning going down, but was able to maintain his balance.
It is an interesting question. He's been the hottest goaltender down this stretch, as I mentioned. Last 7 games he's played 6 one-goal games and a shutout. But Richter has played better against the New Jersey Devils. So what do you do? And when's the last time a team won the Stanley Cup, or at least was in contention and used 2 goalies in the playoffs?
Very interesting dilemma.
And I don't think Roger honestly knows right now who he's going to use.
Wouldn't disagree with you there.
Shot just wide of the net by Mike Gartner. And back come the Penguins. Kevin Stevens, number 25. Centering pass. Francis was tied up by Mark Hardy in front of the net. There's a penalty coming up on the play. It'll be against the Rangers, and the Penguins will get a chance in the power play. Mark Hardy, nicknamed Harpo by his mates, is headed to the penalty box. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Mark Hardy off for the Rangers, high sticking at 12:26. Penguins go to the power play.
There you can see Hardy and Ron Francis, but once Hardy got that stick up, he was looking back to Ron Francis to see if he wanted to mix it up a little bit more, but the Ron Francis wanted no part of that. He just skated away from it, and then so did Hardy.
Penguins power play 4th best in the league, but the best in the league on the road. They're without Mario Lemieux tonight, however. Jaromir Jagr's out there, and they still have a lot of talent to put out on a power play, even without Lemieux. Jagr and Trache back on the point. Jennings is playing the power play. Normally Murphy and Samuelson might be out there. Murphy for sure playing the power play. Jan Eriksson killing penalties for the Rangers. Headed for the net is Randy Gillen, and he almost got there to get a shorthanded goal. And the fans want a penalty called on Jennings, and so does Gillen, who gave Jennings a little shot as they headed for the bench. Back come the Penguins on the power play. Jagr takes the puck in the corner. As Stevens out in front of the net. Excuse me, that's Jay Caulfield out in front of the net. They really want to get Jay that point, and they're playing him on the power play to get him out in front of the goal. Trache. Stick handling, Eriksson watching. Jagr centering pass, went off a skate and up in the air, so they didn't get the puck to Jay.
They probably, his teammates that is, probably told Jay just to park himself in front of the net, and they bank one off of his butt somehow on this power play and get him that much-needed point. The only point he'd have.
He's in his 52nd game, has 161 penalty minutes, but nary a point. 30 seconds to go in this man advantage for the Pittsburgh Penguins. No score in the game. Gord Roberts. Long pass just out of the reach of Joe Mullen. Mark Messier killing the penalty now. Kills some time with Adam Graves. Graves takes over, gains the blue line, got away from Roberts, then was pulled down or lost his footing. Not sure which. Ken Wregget's time in goal soon to be over. Wendell Young still has his mask on, getting ready to come back. Almost his turn again. Penalties over. Penguins are 0 for 1 like the Rangers on the power play tonight. Centering pass for Airy, and he was stopped in close quarters by John Van Beesbrook.
Bob Airy, no doubt, is going to have an important checking role coming up in the Washington series. The Penguins have got some guys that can check. Ronnie Francis, of course, is one, but you're apt to see Scotty Bowman go head-to-head with his big guy, Mario Lemieux. And Lemieux, they say, will be back for Saturday night. Good news for Penguins fans, bad news for Capitals fans. And the same goes with Mark Messier. Had the Rangers had to play the Pittsburgh Penguins, then Roger Nielsen was definitely contemplating going with his big line, Messier, right against their best checking line, whichever one they sent out, or combination.
I think it might be interesting to watch Mario Lemieux and Dale Hunter.
I think it'll be real interesting to see.
Claude Lemieux will draw the assignment for the Devils, trying to check Mark Messier in the river rivalry. Francis kept the puck in. He's with Stevens and Tocchet. Tocchet stops a clearing pass. Ron Francis. Stevens in front. Shoots it. Not a hard one. Van Beesbrook made the save. Kevin's let harder ones than that go this season. Bouncing puck at center. King overskated. Jim Pack. Pass to Kevin Stevens. Around Cirella to the front of the net. One-handed effort, but he couldn't get a shot away on John Van Beesbrook.
We're talking about those matchups, and it said about Messier's line, Roger was just going to let them go because he's gone into that rhythm, that flow of keeping the momentum going for his team. Yeah. But also, when it was his turn for the 2 home games, he would have ended up using Messier against Mario Lemieux, so as his checker. So he would have just gone head-to-head, and yes, we've had another goaltender change here for the Penguins. You see Kevin Stevens using his strength right here, trying to get in a little bit closer on John Van Beesbrook. Not successful.
A great season for Kevin Stevens, who celebrated his 27th birthday yesterday. He's improved by 36 points over last season. Most imposing left winger in the game. Nemchinov for Gartner. Couldn't pull the trigger in front of the net. Eriksson stays on the puck to Sergei Nemchinov. Francis poked the puck away from him to the point. Front of the net, turning, trying to shoot was Gartner, and he couldn't get a good shot away as he was knocked down. Gartner hustles to the corner as James Patrick pinches in for the Rangers. Lost the puck. Jim Pack with a clearing pass. He got the puck out to Tocchet. Wendell Young back in goal for the second time in the game. Came in at the 15-11 mark. Wregget, every 5 minutes, the Penguins are changing goalies. There's a shot by Nemchinov. Young makes the save. The rebound is loose in front. The Rangers poke away at it. Still, the puck is loose, and now it's covered up at the side of the goal. Rangers get another great chance, and when he's been in, Wendell Young's been sharp.
Hey, it doesn't seem to matter right now who's in net for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Both Wregget and Young have been sharp. One thing about what Scotty Bowman's doing, it sure does keep both goaltenders sharp even when they're on the bench. They've got to make sure they're loose and ready to go again. Not really much different, though, than a forward has to face.
Why should goalies be exempt?
Yeah.
And there's Ken Wregget resting for the rest of this period. 3:59 to go in the first. Rangers and the Penguins scoreless. Mark Hardy with the puck off the draw. Shot a weak shot wide, and now there's a scrap in front of the net. It's Jennings and Domi who were at each other earlier, and this time the linesman didn't get between them.
Kyle go for his victory skate. Well, he's been known for a number of his hand motions after his battles that he's had. He didn't indicate any black belt after that tussle.
5 minutes each for fighting. Domi and Jennings banished from the first period of this game. Other than those two being at each other a couple of times and finally fighting, there hasn't been any hits, and you might expect that tonight. A completed no-hitter.
When I had said at the start of the game, by the way, that both of these teams look good, I wasn't referring to how good they look on the ice playing together. When you look at them down near the dressing room before the game, they do look rested. They've got, some players have even got a pretty good tan, got some sunshine during their strike, and so they, no doubt, have got plenty of energy to exert in the playoffs, and it may prove to be a very exciting playoffs for that reason, Jim, if they can get their timing and everything going ready for Saturday.
That's why it's good to have this week finishing off the season, meaningless games or not. Everybody gets a chance to play before the playoffs, and the playoffs really become hard to handicap, don't they?
Sure do.
Mark Hardy into the middle, shoots. Young makes the save. Big rebound in front. There's a long pass from Phil Bourque to Sean McCain that was knocked away by James Patrick. And a delayed offside is called against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Both of these hockey clubs, of course, have played well. Some people, though, regular hockey fans, might not realize how well the Pittsburgh Penguins have played. Go over the course of the last month and a half, last couple of months. They, in fact, have only lost 4 games in their last 15, so they're going to give the Washington Capitals one tough battle, and no one ever likes to have to play the defending Stanley Cup champions.
Certainly no one in this division wanted any part of them.
Not with that firepower on their hockey club, #1 offensively in the whole league.
Well, the Capitals get them, and of all the teams in the division, the Capitals have played them tough. The Capitals have been extraordinary in their own division. But they wiped out the Penguins the first 3 times they met them, 8-0, 7-2, and 6-2. 2 of those games were in Pittsburgh, and they won the season series 5-2 against Pittsburgh. No score, just over 3 minutes to play in the first period. Tim Kerr tried to go to the net and couldn't. Troy Loney clears the puck. Phil Bourque is there. Sean McCain is the 3rd member of this Pittsburgh forward line. Jim Pack with a long right wing pass for Troy Loney, who held up, fell down, and Mark Hardy cleared the puck. Tim Kerr into the middle. Randy Gillen was checked as he moved to the slot. Brian Leach off the bench has the puck. Trying to go around Stanton. Delayed penalty coming up against Pittsburgh. There'll be a slashing call. Is it against Roberts, the defenseman?
Well, it happened right in front of the players' benches.
I was back there. I was thinking that perhaps it was as Leach tried to go around Roberts. But it is Roberts.
It happened actually right in front of Wregget as well, so he was able to make the call pretty easily.
Gillen gave him a little poke. And as is always the case, the retaliation was called. Roberts got caught.
We saw a lot of the Rangers, of course, during the strike because they were the ones that rented the ice time on their own. They had ball hockey games and they did a little bit of everything. Also then went back into training camp. 5 practices in 4 days.
Yeah, they didn't play a game after the strike until yesterday, so they had 17 full days off. There's Messier. Can't shoot the puck in front of the net. On the pass from Leach. Ranger power plays 0 for 1. Gardner, Graves, and Messier up front. Turcotte and Leach the point men. Puck was dumped in by Darren Turcotte. On Francis out with Bob Airy killing the penalty up front. Defense are now changing. Shel Samuelson coming onto the ice with Paul Stanton. Here's Brian Leach carrying the puck in for the Rangers. Dumps it to the inboards. Gardner goes after it. Stanton got there at the same time. Graves is in, centered the puck, and Francis cleared it by Turcotte and out to center. Less than 2 minutes to play in the first period. Just over a minute to go in the penalty. Bouncing puck to the net, and Wendell Young holds on with Adam Graves right in front of him.
Well, tonight's a game that, as you've mentioned before, you won't see too many body checks, but the guys will just try to play their own game tonight and stay away as much as possible, except for the tough guys, and a guy like Ty Domi, of course. This is a warm-up for him because he feels he's got to fight in the game to be very important to his hockey club. They've got some tough guys on the New York Rangers. Joey Kocur hurt his knee last night in the Toronto game.
Loose puck, and they score! Right off the face-off, James Patrick.
And what a season he's had. Watch this draw. You can see that Patrick moved in from the top of the circle and was able to pick up that loose puck. He was all alone and then just found plenty of room behind Wendell Young. Tony Amani was battling for the puck, and it was Patrick that ended up with it.
Patrick's 14th on the power play from Tim Kerr at 18-19 with Roberts off for slashing. 1-0 Rangers. And the goal was scored on Wendell Young. There's a centering pass. Sergei Nemchinov couldn't get a shot away as Kerr put the puck out front. There's a giveaway at the side of the net. Phil Bourque can't get a shot away. Yuri Herdina picked up the giveaway and now has the puck in the corner. His centering pass for Joe Mullen. He was tripped up before he could shoot. Phil Bourque behind the net. James Patrick stays on him. Joe Mullen goes to the puck. In behind the goal. Herdina moves out front. His weak shot went to the side of the net. We move into the last minute of the first period. A shot from the point by Paul Stanton was blocked. Mike Gartner at center with Sergei Nemchinov and Jan Eriksson. They're turned back at the Pittsburgh blue line. There's a giveaway to Gartner. Shoots! Wendell Young made the save on the rebound. Right on it is Chris King. Trying to center as Young came out of the net and now gets back into it. Balling up the boards for Kevin Stevens in the midst of a Pittsburgh change. Half a minute to go in the first period at Madison Square Garden in New York. Joe Cirella turned away from the forechecking of Kevin Stevens. Jay Wells tries to go up the boards, now gets some help as he moves the puck out to center by Chris King. And the puck hops out of play. And the whistle goes with 15 seconds to go in the first period.
One thing that both of these hockey clubs have to draw on going into playoffs is lots of coaching experience. Pittsburgh Penguins and Scotty Bowman. Scotty's been there so many times before, it's nothing new to him. And of course, Roger Nielsen is under lots of pressure as well here in New York. He knows how critical it is for the Rangers to come out of at least the first round.
Roger's been to the final before with Vancouver. Scotty's been to the final 8 times and won it 5. First period comes to an end. And the New York Rangers have a 1-0 lead thanks to a power play goal by James Patrick. Beezer's played all the way, and we're not sure if the other guys will keep changing every 5 minutes, but it'll be interesting to see, won't it? John?
A matter of note, Wendell Young was the goaltender of record for the first goal of this evening. The goalies had a shutout, all 3 of them into the first 18 minutes of the period, but a late goal by James Patrick gives the Rangers their lead. The Rangers a little sluggish in the early going after a quick start, but they have the lead after 1. Here's what's ahead in our first intermission. General Manager Craig Patrick of the Penguins, Bob McKenzie on the NHL playoff matchups, and the Campbell Wales playoff previews. After 1, in New York, the Rangers lead the Penguins 1-0. This is the NHL Tonight on TSN.
Domino's Pizza may very well be the best tasting pizza in the whole world. Domino's Deluxe Pizza Feast, $9.99. 2 for $14.99. Experience the deal.
Hello, Ralph. It's about your invoices.
Imagine visiting yourself in the future.
Hi. Hi. You're me. Mm-hmm. We're us. 25 years later. How are we? Fine. We living down here? Winters, yeah. How can we afford it? Freedom 55.
London Life's Freedom 55. Protection today, plus a financial plan that works, so one day you won't have to. Freedom 55, only from your London Life representative.
That'll be for you.
3M salutes the Olympic athletes who found a better way. Whose ideas were so original, there's no going back. 3M pays tribute to Canadian originals with the Olympic Innovator Series. Collect the poster in all 21 cars. 3M, innovation working for you.
My hair was so dull and dry, I gave it 5 minutes to live. Hard to believe with hair that now looks this healthy and shiny. I got it with new Pantene Pro V Treatment Conditioner. It's vitamin-rich formula contains provitamin B5 that deeply penetrates your hair from root to tip, improving it, making it healthier looking and noticeably shinier.
New Pantene Pro V Conditioner makes your hair look so healthy it shines.
Try it. I use it every day.
Do you want your pizza quick? Or would you really rather have it good and quick? Domino's Pizza. Good and quick. Quick and good. Experience the quality of Domino's Pizza.
Welcome back to New York and the NHL tonight, live from Madison Square Garden, where the Rangers lead the Penguins 1-0 after 1. Penguins general manager Craig Patrick joins me now. When you look at your hockey squad right now, do you feel you're ready and geared up for the playoffs?
Well, I think we're getting there. It's been, since the strike's been over, it's been good to get some practice time in, and we had a good game last night, and hopefully we can finish strong again tonight.
Is defending this title more difficult than winning it the first time around as you look at things?
Well, last year was, I think, a very difficult year for us. The first time around for all of us trying to win a cup, and we didn't know what to expect. I think this year we have a better idea what to expect. It's been a trying year for all of us for a lot of reasons, but I think we know what to expect now, and I like our depth and I like our chances, so it's just a matter of starting the games on Sunday.
Quick thought about the Washington Capitals in the first round. Is this an ideal matchup for you guys?
I don't think there's any ideal.
Not in this division, obviously.
This is a very difficult division to get out of, and it's been a strong division all year long, and the Capitals have given us fits all year long. They've beaten us by big scores in both their building and ours, so it's going to be a challenge for us.
What was your key to success against the Capitals last year?
Oh, last year we just we had some strong goaltending, and Mario started really playing well at that point of the season, and hopefully we can have the same thing happening in this year.
And of course that is a big question mark. We understand that Mario will be ready for Game 1 on Sunday night. How's his condition?
Good. He's got a bruised shoulder. We feel he'll be ready to play on Sunday.
All right. Thank you very much. Good luck in the playoffs. Looks like it's going to be a great year. Craig Patrick, the general manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins, in the final nights of this regular season. They trail the New York Rangers 1-0 after 1 at Madison Square.
Once the game has started, it's time to find a waiter and find the best seats in the house. Many use friendly conversation, but speed and agility are also necessary to move up to a better view, closer to the screen. And for the best seats in the house, whatever the house, head for the Molson Canadian Hockey Connection. Just call the Molson Canadian Fan Phone, and you could win our best seats to an NHL game. Listen to your station for details.
Domino's Pizza may very well be the best tasting pizza in the whole world. Domino's Deluxe Pizza Feast, $9.99. 2 for $14.99. Experience the deal.
Who's the giant of the tire industry when it comes to replacement radials? Well, if you think it's Firestone, brace yourself. Michelin or Goodyear, think again. Because you're in for some news that's rather earth-shaking. The best-selling replacement radials in Canada are Motomaster from Canadian Tire. For safety and performance, it's Motomaster, Canada's #1 radial by a landslide. Motomaster, Canada's #1 selling replacement tires.
Waste time with shampoo and conditioner? Who needs it? I want to wash my hair and go. And now I can with Pert Plus. Complete shampoo plus complete conditioner in one bottle. It cleans and conditions my hair from root to tip. Now I get results that look and feel this good with Pert Plus. Shampoo and conditioner? No more. Nothing cleans and conditions better than Pert Plus. Now I just wash and go.
Pert Plus, the winning combination for great-looking hair.
TSN provides the best action without traction. From the frozen waters of Brandon, Manitoba, we've got highlights of the Canadian Ice Racing Championships. Sunday, 10:30 Eastern on Real TV. TSN.
The quest for the Stanley Cup begins on Saturday, and we will be featuring the Campbell Conference semifinals as the Minnesota North Stars travel to Detroit to take on the Red Wings starting at 7:30 Eastern in Game 1 of that Norris Division semifinal. We'll continue our coverage with the Wales Conference semifinals on Sunday night. The New Jersey Devils against the Rangers in New York. That's a 7:30 start as well. The first game of a best-of-7 Patrick Division semifinal, and you can be sure that the playoffs this year are going to be eventful, Bob McKenzie, because there are so many variables and so many unknown factors that are coming into play this year.
Well, there are no clear-cut favorites this year. We're looking at the New York Rangers tonight, finishing #1 overall this year, and certainly they have to be considered one of the top contenders, but can anybody say unequivocally they're the favorite to win the Cup? I certainly can't.
Washington and New Jersey. Let's take a look at the matchup, first of all, in the Patrick Division. Washington is going to be taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers against the New Jersey Devils. I can't see Washington losing to Pittsburgh this year. Their defense, I think, is just too strong.
Well, I'm with you on that one, and this is where it gets interesting. You know, you get teams like the Washington Capitals finished ahead of Pittsburgh, obviously. Pittsburgh's the third-place team. Yet a lot of people would say that Washington's the underdog. A lot of people would say the Pittsburgh Penguin offense is so overwhelming. I'm not one of them in that situation. I think there are too many question marks with the Pittsburgh Penguins, including the health of Mario Lemieux, the goaltending of Tom Barrasso and/or Ken Wregget, and as a result, I give the Caps the edge in that series.
Rangers over the Devils, I think that's another one that's going to go in favor of the Rangers.
Yeah, I would think so. New Jersey Devils have run into all sorts of problems. The strike certainly helped them out a little bit in terms of getting some of their people healthy, but right now Chris Drury didn't have a good game the other night. They've got Martin Brodeur up from junior hockey. I'm not sure they have the goaltending to win that series, and the only way I think that the New Jersey Devils can beat the Rangers is if the Rangers beat themselves.
In the Adams Division, the Montreal Canadiens will be taking on the Hartford Whalers, and the Boston Bruins will be going up against the Buffalo Sabres, and I think the team that survives this Adams Division is going to be so beat up they may not be good enough to take on the winner of the Patrick Division.
Well, I don't think there's any question that it's an easier route out in terms of maybe the talent level in that division versus the Patrick this year. The Patrick was the top division. Montreal Canadiens, a lot of people predicting trouble for them. They haven't won in 8 games coming down the stretch. Hartford Whalers did very well against them in the season series, but I still have to like the Montreal Canadiens, although Hartford will give them a good fight.
Boston is really going to have to rely on Andy Moog because with Cam Neely out of the lineup, they're not the big, bad, bruising Bruins that they were. They have to have the outstanding goaltending.
Well, Andy Moog, in the tail end of the season, whether it was a strike or what have you, he did not play particularly well. And if Andy Moog is not 100% sharp, that is where the Boston Bruins could end up getting the edge on the Buffalo Sabres. And that's because right now Buffalo's maybe planning on maybe using as many as 3 goaltenders, Tom Draper, Darren Pupa, Clint Malarchuk. I really think that if Andy Moog has the kind of series he has, that Boston can win, although an awful lot of people are picking the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo has disappointed me too many times in the playoffs for me to pick them.
Yeah, they've got an awful lot to prove to really start winning their fans back. We'll take a break and come back and talk about the Campbell Conference as we preview the Stanley Cup playoffs right after this on Molson NHL Tonight on TSN.
People who think all motor oils are the same should have their heads examined. Just look at his head. See the sludge that can build up? The scoring on this piston. And this metal wearing away because someone didn't give their oil a second thought. Well, think about it. And switch to premium Valvoline all climate. Beats every car manufacturer's warranty specs. There's nothing rated higher than Valvoline. Nothing.
The pasta.
They loved it.
The sauces.
Yeah, great.
The cooking. So easy. Introducing Mccain Pasta Magic. Simply microwave the sauce, run the frozen pasta under hot water for a few seconds, and magically, tender, just right pasta. Combine them for perfect pasta and perfect sauce.
Fettuccine.
Alfredo.
Pasta salad. My next topping.
New Mccain Pasta Magic. Delicious, perfectly prepared pasta and sauce in less than 3 minutes.
It's magic.
It's Mccain.
You could be a student buying your first car, a working mother with mouths to feed, or someone on a fixed income. It doesn't matter who you are. If your car's a Nissan, you get the Nissan Satisfaction Commitment, the most comprehensive full-line customer care program ever, and standard on every 1992 Nissan. Because at Nissan, we believe warranty should protect the people who drive the cars, not the people who make them. Nissan, built for the human race.
Gillette presents Sensor, the system, the technology that will change the way you shave forever. Sensor, twin blades set on springs to read your face and respond. Independent suspension to sense and adjust to every curve of your face. No other razor comes close. Gillette Sensor, for the best shave a man can get.
Welcome back to our TSN Control Center. Jim Van Horn along with Bob McKenzie. The Stanley Cup playoffs begin on Saturday. Our first round coverage in the Campbell Conference will be in the Norris Division as the Detroit Red Wings take on the Minnesota North Stars. The other series in that division has St. Louis and Chicago. Detroit and Tim Chevrolet are going to be tough to beat in the first round.
I don't think Minnesota has any of the magic going for them this year that they had going last year. John Casey was a story last year, and the offense, the special teams came to life. Those two things haven't been prevalent down the stretch drive, and there's no reason to believe that that's all of a sudden going to change. So you got to favor Detroit heavily in that series.
Chicago was really embarrassed last year by the Minnesota North Stars. Mike Keenan is going to have them ready because he said, talk about upsets, there's no such thing as an upset in the playoffs. We got our butts kicked by a 16th place team last year, but they will have to contend with Brett Hull of the Blues.
Two very similar teams. The Chicago Blackhawks have an outstanding player in Jeremy Roenick, and the St. Louis Blues, of course, have the best goal scorer in the National Hockey League in Brett Hull. The mission for the Chicago Blackhawks is to try and stop Brett Hull, and that can be done any number of ways. He only had 5 goals in 8 games over the course of this season against the Chicago Blackhawks, and certainly Chicago has an edge to try and counterattack Hull a little bit with Chris Chelios on defense, Steve Smith on defense, and they've got maybe a little more talent than the St. Louis Blues. So if they can neutralize Brett Hull, at least keep him under check and in control a little bit, then I'd have to give the edge to Chicago Blackhawks in that series.
Over in the Smythe Division, it's the Vancouver Canucks who finished 3rd overall in the standings against the Winnipeg Jets, the Los Angeles Kings against the Edmonton Oilers. 2 matches here that are really close. I mean, it could go any way at all.
Very difficult to pick the Smythe Division this year. Winnipeg Jets are looking very good down the stretch. They've made a lot of additions from the time the Olympics are over. A couple of Russians and Keith Tkachuk from the United States. And as a result, they're a much better team now than they were earlier in the year when they were challenging Vancouver for first place. Possible upset there, although Vancouver's a lot bigger. I'll go with Vancouver. And as for Edmonton, Los Angeles, that is a real pick'em series. So many Edmonton Oilers and ex-Edmonton Oilers in that one. That's very difficult, but I'll go with Bill Ranford and the goaltending of the Edmonton Oilers.
As we mentioned off the top, too close to call in just about every division of the NHL. The playoffs this year are shaping up to be very exciting and nail-biting time, and it all gets underway on Saturday. We certainly look forward to it, and we look forward to the second period from Madison Square Garden in New York, where the Rangers are wrapping up the regular season against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That and more coming up on Molson NHL Tonight on TSN.
At Thrifty Car Rental, we know traveling on business has its good points and its bad points, its ups and its downs. So to make those trips a little less hectic, we at Thrifty offer an extensive choice of vehicles at remarkably reasonable rates. Because no matter how much money you make...
You're all set, Mr. Goodsey.
It is, after all, your money.
Today, Pepsi announced a new slogan. Mere words? Or is the taste of Pepsi so big, America's really got to have it?
Gotta have it. It's something I felt for years, but never had the words to express.
If it's so popular, how come everybody's drinking it?
Henry's only regret is that he started drinking Pepsi this late in life.
The phrase gotta have it strikes a chord deep in the human psyche.
Now that everybody's gotta have it, Pepsi's not gonna need celebrity endorsers anymore.
And that's what I've been saying all along.
Introducing the new Magnum Series engines from Dodge. Delivering up to 44% more horsepower and a promise. Take one Dodge Dakota, drop in a Magnum V6 or V8, and you'll outpull any Ford Ranger or Chevy S10 around. Chrysler, all you have to do is drive one. Now get factory financing or choose $1,000 cash back.
The first period scoring summary brought to you by Suzuki, where the wheels are turning. It's short and sweet. Power play at 18-19 of the first period. James Patrick from Tim Kerr. Patrick's 14th, making it 1-0 for the Rangers. And the shots in the first period favored New York as well, 14-10. We're ready for the second at Madison Square with Jim and Gary.
As you might have expected in the first period of this game, it was a no-hitter, but they played it pretty quickly, and everyone's getting a workout and a tune-up for the first game of the playoffs. Say all you want about guys always wanting to put their best foot forward and never have a bad game and all that, but for the most part, hockey players, unless there's something on the line, have a little trouble getting up for it.
You got it. Coaches can talk all they want about making sure they play a real good game tonight so that it carries over into the first playoff game. Yeah, right.
Sure. It's like Canadians at World Championships. Has to be spoilers. If we can't win the championship, it's hardly worth playing. Here's Mark Messier with a sharp angle shot on Wendell Young, and he made the save on the rebound, too. That was Mike Gartner right there looking for the rebound. Jaromir Jagr to the front of the net. Van Beesbrook made a save there with Troy Loney at close quarters. Jagr behind the net. Trotier's out in front. The centering pass cut by Trottier and Loney. And the defenseman as well, and all the way down into the Pittsburgh zone. Wendell Young has started period number 2 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They were alternating goaltenders in the first every 5 minutes. So Wregget is poised to come in at the 5-minute mark, we would assume. There's the Rangers' James Patrick. He overskated the puck on the right wing boards. And now the Penguins get a chance to move out. Can't do it against Darren Turcotte at the point. Trottier takes over with Jagr and Loney, and he dumps the puck in. Van Beesbrook out to play it. James Patrick, who's played in all 80 games now for the Rangers this season, got the puck out to center and no further. And some pushing and shoving there, and there'll be a penalty called. Broughton is down on the ice. James Patrick is there. It was Broughton that took the shot, wasn't it?
Somebody threw a punch down there as they were going down.
Stevens, I think, will get the penalty for taking the shot at that pesky Paul Broughton.
Domino's Pizza may very well be the best tasting pizza in the whole world. Domino's Deluxe Pizza Feast, $9.99. 2 for $14.99. Experience the deal.
Molson Special Dry, the evolution of beer.
Paul Broughton has a way of playing this game that seems to get under the skin of his opponents, and he did just that to Kevin Stevens. Stevens took a shot at him and gets 2 minutes for roughing.
Well, Stevens is getting his playoff face on. Last night he was thrown out in the game against Washington near the end of the first period, and tonight, watch this. Stevens all of a sudden, whack. Ends up taking a penalty for that incident.
Well, what are we playing tonight? Hockey, soccer, lacrosse? A computerized timekeeper's bench here.
Tell you what, they're going to need one tonight just to keep track, as they have to do, of the number of minutes a goaltender plays in a game. And the Pittsburgh Penguins have made that difficult.
Just 2 minutes into the second period, so Wendell Young is yet to come out. Ken Wregget doesn't have his mask on right now, getting ready at all. Bouncing puck in front, nice save by Young, and a shot by Tony Amonte. And Wendell got a shoulder on it.
Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins know that they've got lots of firepower, and it's really going to come down, their success in playoffs, to that firepower and the abilities to keep the puck out. Last year, as you recall, Tom Barrasso proved a lot of doubters wrong by playing so well. There are still a lot of doubters this year when it comes to Tom Barrasso's expectations for playoffs.
Penguins win the draw in their own zone. Digging it loose, Tim Kerr trying to, and now it's tied up long enough so that Rob Schick stopped play.
Tim Kerr's addition to the New York Rangers was a costly one financially for this club. Not only do they have got lots of abilities to come up with those type of dollars, but it cost the Rangers about $600,000 for Tim Kerr to in fact play for them this year, and he has had injuries. They were concerned about that, but if in fact he can play well and stay healthy in playoffs, he could earn that $600,000 pretty easily for them.
Rangers won the draw. Leach takes the shot. Young made the save, and he holds on to the rebound. Not sure what Roger is up to here, but he's juggled his lines, and he hasn't done that all season long with 3 good set lines. Leach took the shot off the draw.
Rangers have been strong on the draw tonight.
He had juggled his lines even before this power play, playing Gartner with Messier and Graves as he would with on a man advantage. And now on the power play, he has Amonte out playing with Kerr, who's the centerman here, and who won the last draw. Back to the point. Leach with Turcotte. Darren Turcotte now dumps the puck in, or tried to. Centering pass gets back to Leach. Takes the shot. Deflected wide. I think Young got a pad on that, although I'm not sure if he saw it all the way in. Amonte to Turcotte in front to Kerr, and he's stopped by Young. Kerr again with a shot, and Young got a piece of that. Quick reflexes by Wendell Young to kick out his right leg and make the save on Kerr. Sergei Nemchinov also out of the power play and now headed for the bench on a change 3 minutes into the second period. 30 seconds left in the Stevens penalty. Here's Messier with a sharp angled shot, an easy save for Young. Leach on the left point. Turcotte over on the right takes the pass. In for Messier as Gartner in front of the net. Turcotte shot. Shot wide again on the rebound after Young made the initial save. Here's Messier back on the point. Leach holds on. Turcotte one times it and fanned on the shot. Messier with less than 10 seconds to go in the penalty. Centering pass knocked wide by Tony Amonte. Now Messier. Amonte in front. So is Gartner trying to get loose. Stevens is out of the penalty box and getting back in the play. Gartner alone at the side of the net, scores! He banked it in off a defenseman.
A close-in play, and a difficult one for Wendell Young. Watch how this is set up.
Did it get through to Turcotte?
I think so. So difficult for us to see way up top here in Madison Square Garden.
I thought he may have banked it in off of Phil Bourque as he tried to center it. But in the replay, it looked as though Turcotte may have tipped it into the side of the goal.
That's our thoughts from up here.
At any rate, it is 2-0. The Rangers scored after the power play. Stevens was back on the ice and skating into the play when the puck went into the net. And it's Rangers 2, Pittsburgh 0.
Well, Mike Gartner would definitely get an assist.
They're announcing Mike Gartner as the goal scorer at Madison Square Garden.
Well, I'm still pretty certain that it was Turcotte that
from
scored
Amonte and Messier, but now we have a fight going on. Tocchet and Chris King, and Tocchet threw off his helmet and attached mask, and this is sort of dangerous. 80th game, he's had a broken jaw, and he's in a fight. Scotty Bowman must be cringing at this thought.
Oh, Craig Patrick has got to be wondering what Rick Tocchet is doing.
Oh!
Chris King went for the takedown by trying to pick Tocchet right up and throwing him down.
Rick looks none the worse for wear, though.
He's had the fire back in his season. A difficult one with the Philadelphia Flyers, but once he was traded, he showed the Pittsburgh Penguins that their move was right.
Stay tuned following tonight's game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you this evening by Armor All.
Banana George Blair does a pretty good job of staying young. We just help him out with the dash, seats, and tires of his car. There is a fountain of youth, and we own the patent. Armor All Protectant.
Tocchet gets 5 for fighting. Chris King of the Rangers, 2 for instigating, and 5 for fighting. So the Rangers will be shorthanded. Let's look at a goal scored again by the Rangers. They announced Gartner here, but you'll see that it's Turcotte who gets the goal.
Turcotte's breaking loose. And no question, Gartner fed him the puck, and he put it in.
Very clear on that replay. So it's Turcotte's 28 from Gartner, and the assist for Mike Gartner is the 500th of his National Hockey League career, and what a season he's had for milestones. His 1,000th game, 1,000th point, 500th goal, and now his 500th assist.
And Mike Gartner really did himself and the National Hockey League players very proud. I had an opportunity to coach Mike Gartner, of course, in Washington, and knew what a good spokesperson he's always been for any hockey club, but he really handled himself well, and as many people have alluded to, he may have just earned himself in a management position as an executive with any team in the National Hockey League after the player-owners negotiations. Either that or else he did such a great job the owners might not like him anymore.
So it'll be Turcotte from Gartner and Amonte at 3:44. And 2-0 Rangers. And now the Penguins on a power play, with Chris King sitting out his instigating minor. Penguins are 0 for 1 with a man advantage. Another penalties called behind the play as the puck was shot down into the Pittsburgh zone. Stevens is going to go, and so is James Patrick. They're mixing it up as the puck went up the ice towards the Pittsburgh zone, and both will get penalties.
Stevens is racking his name up on the score sheet. It's a different way. Mind you, he has the abilities, as he's shown over the years. 122 minutes coming into the game in penalties. Definitely play an aggressive role.
4:39, the time of slashing minors to Stevens and Patrick. You see Tony Amonte in the penalty box. He's serving the instigating minor for Chris King. Penguins continue on the power play, and Jaromir Jagr out with Bob Airy and Ron Francis. Joe Mullen on the power play, and Shel Samuelson too. There was a drop pass by Jagr, and he dropped it right to a Ranger.
I wonder if that was a little call being made from behind to Jagr to drop that puck back. Instead it was a Ranger.
Nemchinov got the pass. John Van Beesbroek. Here's the puck off the glass, trying to get it out. Keeping it in is Ron Francis. Nice move on the boards. Into the side of the net, Joe Mullen. Back for Francis. In front to Airy, and he couldn't tip the puck in. Hit a skate and bounced away. Jan Eriksson comes back for the Rangers, killing the penalty. Gains the blue line, dumps the puck in. Out to stop it is Wendell Young. Wregget is ready, and I think on the next whistle, yep, he's signaling to Wregget. On the whistle, Wregget's coming in, Young's going out. Jagr to Airy. His shot blocked before it got to the front of the goal. Jagr up the boards. Stanton kept the puck in. Bob Airy to Jaromir Jagr. To the open man, Francis. Mullen shoots it. Van Beesbroek makes the save confidently, and the puck bounces in the air. Joe Mullen. Bob Airy. Jagger's in front. Moving in is Stanton. His shot goes just wide of the net. Puck bounced out to center. Amonte's out of the penalty box. The Rangers back at full strength, and Amonte has the puck. Stick handling into the slot. Passes the puck off to Broughton. He couldn't get a shot away. Loose and bouncing puck is cleared to center. Could be a 2-on-1. Mullen and Jagr, but Leach is racing back to catch Jagr. Airy coming up from behind. Gets the puck. Couldn't get a shot away, though. And he's checked by Paul Broughton, number 37 of the Rangers. Gordon Roberts from the point with a weak shot towards the goal, and Van Beesbroek covers up. And Rob Schick finally stops the play. 13:28 to play in the second period. 2-0 Rangers on this Molson Canadian Hockey Telecast.
This is the Canadian Tire Spring and Summer Catalog. Think of it as the place to find a huge variety of spring and summer merchandise not found in our annual catalog. You can also think of it as money, because with lowered prices on 190 items plus early bird specials and coupons, that's exactly what you're saving. Lots of money. So look for Canadian Tire's Spring and Summer Catalog, use it, and save it until Labor Day. Because you're not just saving a catalog, you're saving money.
There's the backup tonight, Mike Richter, one of the best goalies in the league, and there's the man who's receiving a standing ovation right now. Mike Gartner, we mentioned his accomplishments, including his 500th assist on the Turcotte goal. Paul Broughton sitting beside him knew that the picture would go up on the big screen, so he gets in tight to get on. Games are at even strength. Rangers lead 2-0. One power play goal. The other one came just at the tail end of a power play. Here's Graves with a shot. Now the lines are back together with Graves, Amonte, and Messier playing together. Stanton. Pass into the middle, intercepted by Mark Messier, number 11. And the play is offside as he carried the puck into the Pittsburgh zone.
I think that Broughton incident on the bench showed another part of the Rangers that has made them so successful. This man, of course, Mark Messier, has been the #1 reason. But there are a lot of contributing factors as to why the Rangers have become the #1 team in the National Hockey League. They've got such great chemistry in this hockey club. They've got a good sense of humor. They've got a great work ethic that has a lot to do with the coaching as well as the leadership in Mark Messier. There's a lot of good ingredients in this hockey club.
Ken Wregget back in goal. As Scott Bowman continues to change his goaltenders about every 5 minutes. Had to go a little longer this time to make the change because he won't change on the fly, especially with a puck in his own end. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Brian Trottier, Bill Bourque coming up to join him. Jake Caulfield out on this line as well. A centering pass got to the front of the net. Amante cleared it away. Kept in by Jeff Chikrin in behind the net. Out come the Rangers. Amante gave the puck to Messier. Cuts to the middle. Try to pass. Leach shoots it. Great save by Wregget and a blast by Brian Leach. He stopped it and almost carried him back into the net anyway.
What a blast, though, by Brian Leach, who walked right into that puck. Right here. There it's sitting for him. You got to wonder what was going through Ken Wregget's mind, seeing that puck right in the slot. And Brian Leach rushing in with that stick up in the air, ready to hammer that puck. Great save by Wregget.
And a fortuitous bounce that got Leach the shot.
A lot of people think that Ken Wregget just might be a man that could be the Penguins' answer in playoffs. He's had some playoff success in the past.
But you know Barrasso will start, and Wregget will get in only if Barrasso falters, don't you think?
No question, they've got to go with Tommy Barrasso.
Here's Tim Kerr snapping a shot that hit Wregget and went off the glass. Kerr's out with Ty Domi, Randy Gillen. Puck is bounced off the board. Yuri Hirdina. Sean McEachern. Troy Loney is with him. Play is broken up at the defense by Jay Wells. Tim Kerr turns in his own zone. This is just his 32nd game of the season. He scored only 7 goals, but he's healthy now. Domi wants to fight with Loney now. Now he skates away after the linesman got in between Domi and Loney. Then Domi just skated away.
Well, Domi all of a sudden saw that Loney was standing at the blue line and that the Rangers had possession of the puck.
We'll be back to Madison Square Garden after this.
Would you get a load of that suit?
How could I miss it? She's here 3 times a week.
Can you believe how good she looks?
Yeah, and it's only been 8 months.
There's something special about that girl.
Regular exercise and the Special K breakfast. Only 230 calories and a good source of protein which helps maintain and repair body tissue. The Special K breakfast.
I never looked that good, even after 1.
Regular exercise and a balanced diet that includes the Special K breakfast from Kellogg's. Because you've got your own reasons for looking good.
For the 2nd time tonight, Ty Domi has goaded an opponent into an extra penalty. Got Grant Jennings to high stick him earlier. This time he gets an unsportsmanlike penalty with Loney. Loney also got an extra 2 for cross-checking there.
Now watch. All of a sudden, Ty is going to take off. He looked down and saw that the puck was down in the Penguins' corner and that his team could all of a sudden have an advantage and that he might even be able to get a sniff at his 3rd goal of the season. He took right off. Pretty disappointed he ended up in the penalty box for that.
Never a dull moment when Ty's in the game.
Never a dull moment when Ty's not in the game and he's just walking the hallways. Every team needs a player like Ty, though, and I'm not just talking about his aggressiveness on the ice. I'm talking more about his sense of humor and his abilities to take the kidding that his teammates give him. That has a way of pulling a team closer together as well.
So the Rangers, thanks to Domi, are on the power play again. Tim Kerr, Sergei Nemchinov, Tony Amante, the forwards. Penguins have the puck, and there's a shorthanded shot by Mullen, and Van Beesbrook stopped that.
So Van Beesbrook's got a real opportunity here to continue to show the coaching staff for the Rangers that he should be the guy that starts on Sunday night when the Rangers take on the New Jersey Devils in the first game of playoffs. That's a tough one for Mike Richter, and it's definitely not in stone. Not yet, but Beezer's played well tonight.
Can't think of an instance where a 2-goaltender system has worked in the Stanley Cup playoffs for a successful team.
Well, maybe Roger will go with Scotty Bowman's system.
Every 5 minutes? Sure.
Okay, well.
Power play continues for the New York Rangers. Scored on a once tonight. You see how much time is left in the penalty. Lots of time with which to work. Here's Ron Francis, shorthanded, gets to the front of the net, can't pull the trigger. Tim Kerr is back for the puck. Flips it into the corner. Amati is the first man in on the puck. Back to the point. Turcotte playing the point with Brian Leach. Nemchinov. Amati heads for the front of the net. Couldn't get a good shot away. He was poke checked by Wregget. Leach to Turcotte, who's wide open. He shoots. Just missed. Francis hacks at the puck. Can't get it out. Brian Leach kept the play onside. Cuts in front of the net. Turcotte shoots. He hit the side of the goal. Had a chance for his second of the night. Great opportunities for the Rangers in the dying seconds. Well, there's still a little time. 25 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Paul Stanton with a shot. Stop. And the rebound quickly cleared, and Van Beesbrook looks so confident as he stands up and makes those saves look easy. Bob Airy in front of the net. Van Beesbrook again is over to stop Phil Bourque. Now 4 seconds left in the penalty. Mark Hardy from the point takes a blast, tipped wide of the net. Off the boards. Chychrun couldn't clear it in front. Gardner can't put it in on a pass from Graves. Bob Airy has handled the puck just inside the blue line. Couldn't knock the pass down. The penalty's over. The Penguins back at full strength. Jim Pack poked the puck into the middle. Here's Mike Gardner to Mark Messier. Shoots it, missed the net. From the point, James Patrick tripped and fell. Sean McCain has the puck with Yager moving in. Messier hooking him back. Just a few strides, and there's Stevens in front of the net. Takes a shot, and Van Beesbrook stops him twice. Jaromir Jagr to Gord Roberts. His shot deflects up in the air. On the inboards, McCain for Jagr, hounded by Mark Hardy. Jagr in front of the goal. Roberts in deep, can't get the shot away. Jaromir Jagr off the boards, keeping the puck in. Now Messier starts out. 8.5 minutes to go in the second. 2-0 Rangers. Ranger captain got in over the blue line at the end of a long shift and then lost the puck. Back comes Kevin Stevens. Jaromir Jagr trailing on the play, coming in late, looking for the puck and gets it back to the point. Gord Roberts to the open man, Brian Trottier. Jager's in front of the net, the pass, and he was checked by Randy Gillen. And back come the New York Rangers. They're 3-on-2 through center. Jan Eriksson was poke checked. And the play is offside with 8:09 left in the second period. This Molson Canadian hockey telecast continues after this.
Gave my son a Honda generator. It'll power everything from a sander to a saw to a whole cottage. Gave my daughter a Honda lawnmower. It has every safety and performance feature, even something called a hydrostatic transmission. And they gave me this fuel-efficient Honda outboard. Powerful, quiet, and virtually emission-free, so it won't pollute the lake. Thank them. Even though they did it to get me out of the way, it doesn't bother me a bit.
It's been said that the players who might have the most difficult time coming off the break would be goaltenders. John Van Beesbrook has made a myth of that, at least for the Rangers.
He has played so well tonight. Kevin Stevens adjusting his shoulder pads on the Penguins bench, but he might be adjusting a little bit more than that. He might have to adjust his hands and his wrist because he had an excellent opportunity, a couple of them to score, and Van Beesbrook continued to stone him.
Now Brian Trottier deep in his own end for Pittsburgh. His pass to Bob Airy. Oh, he's decked, and there's the first big hit of this game. And now Joe Cirella and Bob Airy are into a fight. Airy took exception to the hit by Cirella.
Unless the replay shows us different, I think that was a clean hit on Cirella's part. He just stepped right into Airy, who may have been caught with his head down.
There's still a lot of individual milestones to be chalked up around the league, and we're going to hear and see one of them now. Here's Jim Van Horn.
For the third year in a row, Brett Hull has scored his 70th goal of the season. Brendan Shanahan has stopped. The loose puck comes out in front. Hull is there and has an open net, beats John Casey. The goal coming at 11:37 of the first period of a feisty affair between St. Louis and Minnesota. Jimmy?
Cirella, 2 for interference, 5 for fighting, and 5 for fighting to Bob Airy. The Rangers get the extra penalty after Cirella decked Airy at center ice.
Well, let's go back and take a look at it. I guess what they considered is the fact that Airy wasn't playing the puck. The puck had bounced off the boards and was laying in behind Cirella, but I guess that's a rather weak way to look at it. But Cirella had to have been called for the interference on that part. A good clean body check.
Big hit and a no-hitter. That's what made Airy mad. Nobody's hit anybody else. Why would you deck me? Actually, in the second period, this game has heated up a little bit. Wendell Young is back in goal, by the way, for Scotty Bowman. Almost forget about these changes every 5 minutes.
You're going to steal this idea, aren't you, for your men's league in Warsaw?
No, you can't get anybody to play goal. The ones we have, we just want to quit. We don't want them to change. To play, second period at Madison Square Garden in New York, and the Rangers have a 2-0 lead as they go for a club record 50th win.
You had a goaltender on your team.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry, Mike. I'm just kidding. Here's Mark Messier for the Rangers, carrying the puck through center. Hardy following up on the play, and it's offside against New York. Minute 2 seconds to go in this Pittsburgh power play that's gone for naught tonight.
Well, you knew that during the strike that Mark Messier, nothing to do with the team management or coaches by any means, but Mark Messier wanted to keep his hockey players together. That, in fact, if the strike did end, that they would be prepared to take a good run at winning a Stanley Cup, which has been Mark Messier's objective right from the time that he signed with the New York Rangers.
Mark's on the bench. Well, the Rangers were helped by the fact that a lot of the players live right in the area around their practice facility, so it's not like some teams where they had a whole bunch of players taking off for their homes in different parts of the country. So when the bell rang and they were back to work, everybody was already around here.
Well, it also helped due to the fact that the Rangers had had a 4-day break that had been planned in their schedule, that they didn't skate and they didn't play. And so Roger had let them go home or do whatever they wanted to do during that time.
Pittsburgh continues on a power play, and now some more pushing and shoving. Graves and Gordon Roberts. This game is really heated up. Tocchet and Messier. Everybody's going to grab on here now.
Was that Graves that went piling in after Stanton? Stanton was after Messier, and it has been known all year that Graves, any time that Messier has been attacked.
Graves and Tocchet, that's Book-a-Boom at the bottom of the pile for the Rangers. What appeared to be a very passive, quick game in the first period has turned ugly in the second. These guys have put on their playoff faces.
Well, the Rangers don't like to see any other players taking a shot at their team captain, Mark Messier, their leader. Graves has been known all year long to go after it. This time it was Boom, but Graves, of course, was trying to get in there as well. He ended up with Tocchet.
As soon as there was any pushing and shoving involving Messier, Graves and Boom were there in a flash.
Not that Mark can't handle himself. Probably could handle himself better than either of those two against anybody in the league, but that's the team togetherness the Rangers have shown this season.
It appears could easily discard that chin protector he's wearing for the broken jaw because he's had a total disregard for any damage he may have done to his face earlier. And when the Penguins made the deal and got Tocchet, they wanted the belligerent, tough Tocchet who used to play for the Flyers, and it appears now as the season comes to a close, they've got it.
Oh, he's fired up big time. I think Mario Lemieux had made comments over the last few years that they really needed on their hockey club some aggressiveness and someone that could play on a regular basis. And of course, he was always hoping that that player would play with him. And that's come true. Here's how it all started.
There was an initial penalty coming. There's a high stick on Messier. And Messier got mad. Then in comes Boom. Leach was there as well, and he got thrown out of this. Stevens grabs onto Boom and tackled him, and then Graves did an end around, and he got decked by the linesman. Not sure whether that was Brosiker or Collins, but they kept Graves out of there in a hurry.
Stevens doesn't have a chin strap on that helmet of his. That's why it pops off so easily. Or Tocchet, I should say, when, in fact, he ends up in a scuffle, as he has a couple of times tonight. No chin strap to hold that helmet down a little tighter.
Rangers were a man short. 41 seconds to go in the Cirella penalty. There was a penalty being called when the skirmish took place, and I think it may have been to Tocchet initially.
Assistant coach Colin Campbell talking to Roger Nielsen.
Tocchet 2 and 10.
Number 22 of Pittsburgh, Paul Stanley, receives 2 minutes for roughing. Number 9 of the Rangers, receives 2 minutes for cross-checking and a 10-minute misconduct.
2 and 10 to Graves.
The Rangers, Mark Messier, receives 2 minutes for roughing. Time of all penalties, 13.
Offsetting penalties all round. Graves and Tocchet 2 and 10 each. Messier and Stanton 2 each for roughing. And that's it from Robbie Schick. So the Penguins will continue on a power play for the next 41 seconds, trailing 2-0.
And this second period really has been a big turnaround from that of the first. Let's take a look at the original penalty right here. That's Graves for cross-checking.
So Roger Nielsen will be shorthanded for the next 41 seconds, and he loses Graves for the duration of this period and part of the third.
One thing that did happen during the players' strike gave Roger Nielsen, who is one of the best prepared coaches in the league, has always been known for that, lots of opportunity to do breakdowns with Colin Campbell on videos to get ready for the playoffs if they ever did resume. And of course now we know they are resuming, and Roger has got a pretty good library full of any team that the Rangers could play, and obviously Jersey's first up.
And we'll show you the series between the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils starting from this building, Madison Square Garden, on Sunday night. But our playoff coverage on TSN will open on Saturday with the Minnesota North Stars against the Detroit Red Wings. Now the power play continues for the Penguins for the next half a minute. Kjell Samuelsson, number 23. Slowly up through the middle. He dumps the puck in. Yager, Mullen, and Stevens in after him. Cleared around the boards and out by the Rangers. Jeff Bookaboo. One last rush if they're quick on this power play. Just 5 seconds to go in it. Ron Francis leads the way now. Francis got around Turcotte. Stick handles in. The penalty's over. Rangers are back at full strength. Kjell Samuelsson shot from the point is blocked. Amati was serving the extra 2 to Cirella. He's back on the ice. Pass to an open point, and Jim Pack has to skate back to his own end to collect the puck. And as he tried to make a pass, the puck hopped out of play. 5.5 minutes to go in the second period, with the Rangers leading 2-0 on goals by Turcotte and Patrick.
Announcing Fido-Rama, your chance to win a limited edition escort. Just look under the cap of specially marked 7-Up and Diet 7-Up to collect the names of 7 cities, and you could win a Fido escort.
7-Up.